So now the plan is to go back in and close the legislative loophole. If I were a sarcastic person, I'd say I don't see how this could fail. Rewriting state legislation is so easy. Legit legislation loopholes lead lawmakers to launder and relaunch law on limber luggage liquidation and lowered landfill landings. Stuck it in one.
Hello, friends, and welcome to Saturday evening's posted mostly weekly broken news with your host, Trevor Stewart.
Well, thank you, Nick.
You're welcome.
Took you a second to get to. Hello, friends. I'm Trevor. Stumbling over my words already is what I am. Hello, friends. Welcome back to another episode pre-recorded in front of a live Twitch audience, or being recorded live if you're in the Twitch audience, of Saturday Evenings Posted Mostly presents Weekly Broken News with me, your host, Trevor Stewart, 1308. Trevor Stewart, 1308. Let me remind you that this is not a news show, and this is not a news show, and I am not a journalist. And all views expressed herein are 100% correct and verifiable as opinions. Now, I would like to begin this evening with a story that has been in my imagination since I saw the episode of Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. John Oliver, the host of Last Week Tonight, has set out an offer to pay Clarence Thomas $1 million per year for the rest of his life to step down from the Supreme Court. Clarence Thomas has 30 days as of the airing of the last episode of Last Week Tonight with John Oliver to respond to this. In the episode, Mr. Oliver pointed out that this is not illegal, that it is not illegal to incentivize a Supreme Court justice to stay on the court or to leave it. And it's not illegal for me to point out that a grassroots organized effort could fundraise offers to help incentivize Supreme Court justices like Clarence Thomas, who are out to make them gains and get that paper, raise that dough like a baker, to leave the court and make room for more ethical justices, provided, of course, that we have a president and a Congress who will be ethical in their treatment of the nomination and confirmation process. I still live in hope, my friends. It is a unaware state, the state of hope. So, also in SCOTUS adjacent news, from Bear and Falanced Fox News, Alito pauses Boy Scouts $2.46 billion with a B dollar abuse settlement for the article from the article The ruling rejected arguments claiming the bankruptcy plan was not proposed in good faith and that it improperly strips insurers and survivors of their rights. Yeah, that tracks. And now from our Who'da Thunk It department. Russian spy named Stolichnia. Oops, I'm sorry, wrong brand of vodka. Wrong brand of vodka. Russian spy named Smirnov lied to special investigators looking into Hunter and Joe Biden's connections to the Ukraine. You pay how much for rumors? Sure, I know rumor. I know many rumor. What you want me to make rumor about? I make rumor about anything for that much. Oh, wait. I think Trey Crowder already did this joke. No. Not that Crowder. The other one. You know, the one who's not a waste of air, space, DNA. The Crowder who's funny. Yeah, that's Trey Crowder. The other one we don't even want to name. Moving along to something from the HuffPo, from the Huffington Post. HuffPo. Having a hard time reading my own handwriting. Democratic representative mocks James Comer over Biden informant with some elf help. The article says that Representative Jared Moskowitz, Democrat of Florida, took a swipe at House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer, Republican of Kentucky, on Thursday after the Justice Department indicted an FBI informant named Smirnov, or Stolichnia if you're rich. Key to the GOP-led impeachment inquiry against President Joe Biden. Moskowitz, a member of the committee, responded to the charges by mocking Comer with a gif of the "You sit on a throne of lies" line from the holiday film Elf. The witness, FD-1023, form was just indicted for making it all up, wrote Moskowitz, who quoted a post by Comer where he cited an FBI form that documented Smirnov's claims. Moskowitz later returned to the platform with a message for Comer about the indictment. Quote, "Hey James, have a round on me tonight. You deserve it. Send me the bill. Your dear friend Smurf," wrote Moskowitz, referring to Comer, likening him to the blue creature in November, which we here covered. And moving on to something from Newser. That's not NPR. An NPR icon is gone. NPR installation and godfather Bob Edwards passed away last week at the age of 76. He started the first episode of the flagship show, Morning Edition, by saying, "Good morning. Today is Guy Fawkes Day. Guy's plot to blow up Parliament was discovered on this day in 1605. Today is the beginning of National Split Pea Soup Week, and it's the debut of this program. I'm Bob Edwards." His dulcet tones oft accompanied me on the half-hour ride to school in the mornings. In point of fact, my news announcer voice that you are hearing right now, that I use here, was very much influenced by both the late Bob Edwards and the even later Carl Castle, with a little bit of Corey Flintov thrown in for spice and fun. And moving on to something from the LA Times. California's war on plastic bag use seems to have backfired. Lawmakers are trying again. There was a carrier bag-sized loophole left in the original legislation that allowed for heavier bags that were supposed to be reusable. To quote the article, The problem, it turns out, was a section of the law that allowed grocery stores and large retailers to provide thicker, heavier weight plastic bags to customers for the price of a dime. Basically, what happened is that the plastic bag companies invented these thicker plastic bags that technically meet the definition of reusable, but are clearly not being reused and don't look like reusable bags, which just circumvent the law's intent, said Jen Engstrom, Calprig's state director, which caused the weight of the plastic bag being thrown out to increase by around 40% overall. This is not their quote, this is me. So now the plan is to go back in and close the legislative loophole. If I were a sarcastic person, I'd say I don't see how this could fail. Rewriting state legislation is so easy. Legit legislation loopholes lead lawmakers to launder and relaunch law on limber luggage, liquidation, and lowered landfill landings. Stuck it in one. Corey Flintov. And moving on to an old favorite here, escaped animals, or Ark on the Lam. From thecooldown.com. Hunters and scientists discover brand new seal lurking in Arctic waters. There are only approximately 3,000 of these. Located in the Ilulissat ice fjord in Kangia ringed. The Kangia ringed seal has been discovered at long last. It is estimated that these seals have been genetically isolated for over 100,000 years. Researchers are speculating on what may be found in other isolated inlets and other ice fjords in the area. Talk about social distancing. I feel some of their isolationist behavior has been sealing their fate. I only kind of hate myself for that. Next up, from Beauty of Planet Earth. Octopus named Inky makes astonishing escape from his tank to the ocean. The only clue as to how it may have happened was a bear paw print in squid ink and the letters GAFF written in what we hope was ketchup or red paint left on the side of the tank. And moving quickly along to KETV 7 Omaha. Henry Doorly Zoo's white alligator undergoes surgery to remove $7 worth of coins thrown by guests. An X-ray showed what appeared to have been a large number of coins in Thibodeau. That's what they named this? With Thibodeau? An X-ray showed what appeared to have been a large number of coins in Thibodeau's stomach. It is guessed that at least some of the coins were thrown directly into Thibodeau's mouth, but it is also noted that the alligators, quote, can sweep the bottom of the enclosures and pick up the coins from there, so it's best not to throw coins at all, end quote. Exams are in the works for all of the alligators to see if similar removal will be needed. Zookeepers suggest that the wishing well is a more suitable location for the accumulation Zookeepers suggest that the wishing well is a more suitable location for all loose change, and that the accumulation from the wishing well is donated to the local chapter of the American Association of Zookeepers. The Gators are currently wishing that people would stop throwing their crap at them. Next up, from WXII 12. Snake found tangled around U.S. Coast Guard helicopter during post-flight inspection in Florida. To quote the article, this unexpected stowaway was Tabando, was how I was told. Oh, Tabado. Tabado is how that's pronounced, not Thibodeau. Tabado. I apologize to the White Gator for my mispronunciation of their name. To quote the article, this unexpected stowaway was found napping on a Jayhawk tailwheel. USCG Clearwater said in a Facebook post, he reluctantly departed the scene when confronted, unquote. The 2-foot-long corn snake could not be reached for comment on what exactly it had planned for that flight and if it had been achieved. Moving on to our next segment and some more human news. This week, we are covering housing. From the New York Post, housing have Linda Rosenthal won't let have-nots have a chance. The article opens with, Assemblywoman Linda Rosenthal, chief of the Housing Committee, got hers, and she's gonna make damn sure no one else gets theirs. Nutshell version. Housing vacancy in New York is at 3.1%. The governor and mayor have a plan to let commercial property owners convert unused office buildings to apartments. But Rosenthal and a few others are standing in the way, requiring that all converted apartments be rent-controlled or none of them, not a mix. On the surface, that sounds like a way for everyone to have a more affordable housing. But Rosenthal, who pays just $1,573 for a palatial 5-room rent-stabilized apartment, is quoted as saying, I'm not that worried about non-affordable housing, actually. People who have means can buy, rent anything they want in this city. Associate producer note, I agree with the ending statement to the article. Don't just tax the rich. Raise their rent too. Yes. Meanwhile, on the other side of the country, NBC7 San Diego brings us this gem. Boyle Heights celebrates new tiny home village for unhoused residents, mariachi performers. That is exactly how the headline was printed/posted. The village has 72 tiny homes and is intended to offer shelter to unhoused residents and mariachi performers experiencing homelessness. While an odd way to phrase things, it is good to see a community working together to provide a safe place for neighbors that are struggling. And another one from Beauty of Planet Earth. It's official. Researchers have discovered a second Earth. Quote, researchers have confirmed the existence of a second Earth located in Proxima Centauri system. The planet is believed to have oceans just like Earth and may host alien life. Unquote. Proxima b is relatively close by interstellar standards at only 4 light years away, or 25 trillion freedom units for the Americans. But it will take quite a while before humans manage to visit it in person. Wonder if there's oil there, too. Betcha that would speed up our process for getting there. And now, it is time for our commercial break. It is time in the show when we bring you a word from our advertisers. And this week's word is gruntle. Originally, like 1600s to 1900, defined as to be unhappy with something. Dis was added as an intensifier, making it very unhappy, thusly disgruntled being exceedingly unhappy. In the 1920s, a joke was made that stuck, changing the meaning of gruntle to be put in a good humor. We could not find any record of the joke itself, only that it existed. Now, we would like to thank our associate producer, co-writer, and just generally very helpful friend, Kat. Thank you for making this possible. We would also like to thank our Discord manager, Marina Ion at Human Tech Art, who we are delighted to be working with again, and who has made the Discord incredibly functional. Has really put a lot into it, and we really appreciate that. Also, she is designing a few things for our Twitch, page. A banner and a few panels. So that will be some changes to the look of our page will be coming up. We would also like to thank our correspondents, our UK correspondent, Who's That Girl, here on Twitch. It's Jess, just so you know, it's Jess. That's Who's That Girl. And our Canadian correspondent, Robbie Nova from Canada, also here on Twitch. Or, over there on Twitch if you're rewatching this on YouTube. We would also now like to plug our channel friends with merch stores, whom we really think you should go visit. Oh, there are actually more merch stores that will be available in our YouTube description that I'm going to mention here. We need to update this ad read something fierce. Get your official Who's That Girl, Dasin __ Akika Calde, and DJ Lockpick and No Pants Sunday merch over at their merch stores on Stream Elements and Streamlabs. Who's That Girl is at merch.streamelements.com/Who's That Girl. Dasin __ is at store.streamelements.com/Dasin __ Akiko Calde is at streamlabs.com/Akiko Calde/merch. And I haven't moved DJ Lockpick's link over here, nor have I moved Retro Future Now's link over here. He also, our friend Retro Future Now is also offering art on Fourth Wall. It is something like a Patreon account. It's something like Patreon. And he can offer prints for subscriptions. It sounds brilliant. I don't know. I haven't checked it out yet. I need to. But honestly, I am way too poor to be ordering any merch just yet. I plan to as soon as I can, but can't afford it yet. Let us not forget the inimitable Jeffy Millimeter, who has moved his merch to his activewear brand Emerald. Quote, 100%, the motto is, see into the future. And the site is emeraldbrandproject.com. We would also like to shout out some dear friends over here on Twitch, or over there on Twitch if you are watching on YouTube. D'Angela, D-E-E-E-E, Angela, Send Noodles, Moosies, Busy Bell, Metamorpheus, Sleepy Scrubs, EV something, who is actually doing a 12-hour stream right now as of time of taping. We might well raid out to EV something this afternoon. Kiwi 007, Kiwi, K-I-E-W-I, 007, Bex Bexy, Baby Groot, Shende 20, who has showed up and lurked in our chat occasionally, Ghoulish Cutie, DJ Lockpick, and the whole Sunday No Pants Raid train. We all enjoy their music on Sundays. Retro Future Now, DJ Loomy 242, DJ Jadzia Dax, and of course, let's not forget the amazing Wasabi here on Twitch or over there on Twitch. All of whom are good friends of the channel and are incredibly entertaining to watch. I'd like to take this time to give a few YouTube shout-outs as well. Go check out our friends, the talented music producers Pan's Delight and Paula Haunt, both of whom crank out a pretty good amount of tracks. Just really good music in general. As well as our friend Alec Bonkers, a visual artist and writer under the moniker of Mango Pudding over on Wattpad. Alec Bonkers has started their Detroit Become Human playthrough over on YouTube, and that has been a joy to watch. I'm really interested in the story there. And it's a lot of fun to go through it with them because they have played it so many times. They know the story and they know it well enough to let you know when you need to know something, when you need to pay attention, things like that. It's pretty fun. I'm enjoying it. Also, our friend Lucy 2001, who is a talented young actress from off the coast of Scotland. John Lewis, spelled J-A-W-N. A video essayist and dropper of truth with a brilliant and sly sense of humor. And finally, we would like to thank our friends on other platforms, starting with our dear friend, Oshay, of Oshay's Beautiful Things. Go and check out most of her beautiful things over there at Oshay's Beautiful Things. And we would like to shout out North Yorkshire's own Jennifer Weston, artist extraordinary and dear lifelong friend of mine, as well as the person who gave me the recipe for my Yorkshire puddings, which unfortunately we do not have footage of. The footage went horribly wrong and was unsalvageable. The Yorkshire puddings, on the other hand, were perfect, light, fluffy, and delicious. And I will be making more soon. The associate producer would also like to give a shout out to @FritzFishing on TikTok, and condolences on trying to fix a 3 million piece puzzle pretending to be a fishing reel yourself. I've never tried to take apart and put back together a fishing reel successfully. All right. Moving right along. Oh. From the Midwest to our great northern neighbor to the north, Canada, I'm Mitch Higgin, and this is What's Up North, eh? First up, CTV News. Alberta RCMP officer charged with national security investigation. As one person at least has already asked, did you have a Rwandan spy on your 2024 Canadian bingo card, eh? From the article, quote, RCMP said its federal policing integrated national security enforcement team, INSET, arrested the frontline police officer who accessed non-top secret RCMP record systems to assist a foreign actor. RCMP confirmed the foreign actor involved was the Republic of Rwanda. I have so many questions. Why Canada? Why Rwanda? Why the... Just... This is a developing story, and with hopefully more to be revealed later. Reconnaissance representing Rwanda in refined and rural realm results in retrieval of restraint of RCMP Roser. I think I nailed that one in one too, eh? And now, friends, we depart from our friend Mitch Higgin for a more serious segment. The War on Education, courtesy of the 74million.org. Florida students seize on parental rights to stop educators from hitting kids. First off, please go read the whole article for yourselves. It is lengthy, but pretty well written, has some very nice graphs to look at, and is worth reading. Quote, an 18-year-old honors student says a spanking at her school went disturbingly beyond discipline. Now she's joined a student effort to fight back. Inside a Florida high school principal's office, Brooklyn Daniels found herself alone with two men and a wooden paddle that was thick like a chapter book. What came next? A paddling that left deep purple bruises and welts for a minor school offense that Daniel said was stemmed from a misunderstanding about Christmas decorations on a campus door. Was far beyond routine student discipline. The Liberty County High School senior told the 74, unquote. I am sorry I did not include a trigger warning before I read that article. Trigger warning for the rest of what I say. We will be discussing some very difficult topics coming up. There is so much to unpack here. First, using corporal punishment after all the years of studies that show it doesn't actually work. Second, according to both the school's parents and student handbook and the 2023-24 Liberty County School District Code of Student Conduct, paddling was not the only option. Third, according to the handbook, 3 hits with a paddle were the specified amount for that level of infraction. And according to the state law, force is to be moderated, not leave deep bruises and welts. Fourth, in what context is having an 18-year-old girl paddled by 2 adult men in a closed room ever appropriate and not a significant violation? This is a state that is so concerned that teachers are predators and trying to corrupt innocent children with books, but see nothing wrong with giving permission to 2 adult men to lay hands on an 18-year-old girl in a manner that is often found in adult reading material. Insert here, associate producer yowl of frustration and rage and scowl of derision here. Supposedly, the victim was offered the choice of an in-school suspension or corporal punishment. A suspension that would cause her to miss an exam. You know, those test things that the schools all really want you to take so they look good and get more money, as well as being late to work. She now regrets choosing the option that she thought would be the best for her studies. The victim's mother tried to reach out to the principal over this, but was declined and given the vague answer of, she had options and she chose this, and I went easy on her. She is quoted as saying, "That man went from swinging bats for a living to beating children. So how do I know where he went to school to learn how to, instead of hitting a baseball out into the outfield, to gently swing a paddle to hit my kid?" Unquote. Currently, the Southern Poverty Law Center is using the state's own words about parents' rights to remove corporal punishment from Florida schools. And we wish them luck. And moving along to the other side of the parents' rights debate in Florida, and our segment, Why, Florida, Why? As if that last article didn't want to make us ask, why, Florida, why? But why, Florida? Why? Why you got a Florida? I mean, your Florida is starting to spread to the rest of the country, and that's not good. I mean, just look at what happened in Georgia this week. Just why? Why Florida? Why you got a Florida all over us? Moving on to something from the other side of the parents' rights debate. From the Washington Post, Florida law blasted after permission slip sent to hear black author's book. The article points out many good common sense articles and features several people saying that this and a handful of other very similar events were not the intended uses of the Parents' Rights Bill, and Florida is not trying to require a permission slip to teach black history. While I take the point that they're trying to make, and they're right, it shouldn't require a permission slip. I disagree. I think that this is exactly what this law was designed to do. This is a feature, not a bug. Don't let the fact that the parents and students are using this law to protect students from SA. Don't let that fool you into thinking that the law isn't steeped like yesterday's teabag in systemic and overt racism and violence. Associate producer note, you don't have to read this, but it's my 2 cents. Reading between the lines, to me, this also feels like malicious compliance on the part of dissenting teachers, done to especially highlight the features of the bill. Parents don't like having to sign permission slips every week, and especially every day. Perhaps if enough parents are outraged, inconvenienced, or both, the law will get repealed. Thank you, associate producer. That is actually something that I was looking for the words to say. This bill, much like the One Ring, was forged in the deepest fires of the Mount Doom of Southern racism and Southern xenophobia. And can only be repealed by making it that dangerous, that upsetting to the parents, and that dangerous to the lawmakers, that something will actually get done. It is a long, slow slog, which is why I make the reference to the Lord of the Rings. But because this is supposed to be a comedy show, let us move along to our last article from Florida Daily Post. The failed political operation to make DeSantis the GOP presidential nominee cost $168 million. And that, my friends, is a lot of money just to get rid of someone. And if you think about it, it didn't even work. Now that he's back from his East Coast tour, DeSantis has time to really make a mess of the state before he leaves office. Let's see what else he can tear down. Well, friends, this has been a short episode of Weekly Broken News. Saturday evenings posted mostly presents Weekly Broken News with me, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308. I do hope to be, I am now and have been and will be again, hopefully in the future, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308. I'm messing up my own words. I need to get into this and revamp our script format. Would chucking Gov DeSandals into a hurricane work like tossing a ring into a volcano? No, I don't think so. Because if you've seen him, when he goes all rigid and stiff like that, he becomes a perfect sail and is the kind of thing that will, fly around in the tornado and slice other things in half. I think we need to throw DeSandals into a hurricane, or into a volcano. I think that's what we actually need to do. I'm not, promoting violence or anything. We don't actually need to throw Ron DeSandals into a volcano or a hurricane or a tornado. I just was making a joke. That's right. It was just a joke. I would never, ever, ever endorse violent actions against anyone, especially not Ron DeSantis. Kat says, oh well, we just need to book him on a book tour in Hawaii then. Go visit Pele. I hear she's eager to make new friends. Well, friends, thank you for joining us. I am, have been, and hopefully will be again in the future, your host, Trevor Stewart 1308. And don't forget to join us again tomorrow, same Trev time, same Trev channel, for a live episode of something. I don't know what. I believe the episode is going to be called Surprise the Trev. Also, stick around for the raid. We will probably be raiding out to Eevee something. And as they say around here, 2 up, 2 down, VA, double deuces. I'm out, y'all.